Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I totally forgot to film an intro, so I'm just gonna get to it. I started off by priming my face with the e.l.f. Luminous Matte Facial Primer, and you'll see me go in with the City Color Oil Control Facial Primer in a spray. I use these two together just because they control my oils really well without drying my skin out too much. And then I'm going in the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the green shade to cancel out the redness I have on my face. And you want to make sure you set it with a translucent powder just so it doesn't move around when you apply your foundation. And for foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match in the shade W6, and I'm using it with my Real Techniques beauty sponge to blend it out. And for concealer, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match concealer in the shade W2, and also again using the Real Techniques beauty sponge. And you want to make sure you blend out the edges really well, just because you don't want any demarcation lines, and you don't want to make it obvious that your concealer is lighter than your foundation. You want to make it look seamless. And to set my concealer, I'm using the Cody Airspun translucent powder. I don't like to bake too much just because it dries out my under eyes really bad. So, and I like using a damp beauty sponge to apply my translucent powder just because it makes the under eye look really smooth without making it look cakey. And I'm blending off the excess translucent powder. And here I'm going in with the BH Cosmetics contouring palette. And all my brushes that I use are also from BH Cosmetics, and I'll link down the sets that I have for you guys. And I like to use a fluffier brush instead of a more dense brush, just because I feel like it gives me more of a seamless blend, whereas if I were to use a denser brush, it would look too harsh, and I don't like that look. And make sure you blend it down your neck just so it looks even. And for blush, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Baked Blush. I think it's in Blushing Gems. I'm not sure of the shade, but yeah. And then I'm going in with the Mario Badescu Cucumber Water to get rid of the powderiness on my face before I go in with the highlighter. And for highlighter, I'm using the DesixKaty collaboration with Dose of Colors and the shade Fuego. And for my eyeshadow palette, I'll be using the ColourPop collaboration with ILuvSARAHII in the Chic-y one. That's the name of the palette. And the shade that I'm using is Freckles. And I like to use windshield wiper motions combined with circular motions just because I get a better blend like that. Whereas if I were to only use windshield wiper motions, I would only be distributing the product without blending out the harsh lines. And then I'm going in with the tighter brush. When I say tighter, I mean like smaller and like less fluffier. And I'm going in with the same shade. Doing that, it'll help build up the eyeshadow without using another eyeshadow. So that's a tip if you only have like 2 eyeshadows or 3, then that's something you can do so you can have like a good look. And with the smaller brush, I'm going in with the shade Noche, and I'm putting that on my outer corner. I'm sorry, on my outer V, and blending it into my crease. And you want to make sure, like, when you're using dark shades, that you use a smaller brush. So every time you're gonna go in with a darker shade, you want to make sure you're using a smaller brush than the one you used before. I like to go in with the brushes that I used before when I blend, because I get a more seamless blend like that. Whereas if you were to use the same brush to blend the same eyeshadow, you would blend up too high, and it would give you the appearance of a black eye. Instead of having like a gradient effect, it would just be all one color, like a mess of all these eyeshadows. I hope that makes sense. And for my lower lash line, I'm going in with these exact same eyeshadows and the exact same order that I applied them on the top. And I'm using the same brushes too. I like to blend them into my outer V just because I don't like any space in between my lower lash line and the top of, like, the top. And it actually like complements my eye shape. And for my eyelid color, I'm going in with the shade Noli from the DesixKaty eyeshadow palette in collaboration with Dose of Colors, and I wet it with the Badescu cucumber water just to make it more metallic. And I'll go back in with the blending brush I used to oh shit, that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm going in with the shade Suze to highlight the inner corner, and I also apply that onto my brow bone. You'll see me do it in a minute. Okay, here I'm doing it. I like to highlight my brow bone just because, like, if I'm in the sun, the sun will catch it, and it like lifts your brow. But if you apply it too far down, it'll defeat the purpose of lifting the brow. And I always go back in with the small brush to make sure it's blended. And for here, I'm using the Jordana lip pencil in the shade Natural Silk. These are my favorite lip pencils ever. Like, I don't know, I'll never use anything else. And I do overline my lips, but if you have big lips, you don't have to do that. I just have small lips, so I overline. Not too much though, because you don't want to make it look fucking fake. And for lipstick, I'm using the shade More Creamer Please from the DesixKaty collection, and I'm just blending that out with my finger. And for gloss, I'm using the Over the Top lip gloss from Dose of Colors, also from the DesixKaty collection. And I also blended in just a little bit, and to get rid of all the powderiness, I like to go in with the Badescu cucumber water. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned something. Please let me know what you guys would want to see from me, like future videos, just because I don't know what to film. So yeah, thank you guys. Bye.